What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Pretty Spectacular Football Show. Now, I just want y'all to know I love y'all so dearly because I'm not at home, but I figured it out. I found a way because when there is a will, there is a way. And this show had to be done. It had to be done because last week I couldn't do it. So I had to get it done today. So welcome to the Pretty Spectacular Football Show. I'm Pretty Girl Des, and I am streaming this through MTMV Sports. And before I start, I do want to shout out to my brothers and sisters in media. So you have the Sports Talk with C, the 494, the Not the Same podcast. You got the main card. You got the Bible studies that both my brothers in arms do. I say in arms and the media do. So you just have it's just so much amazing content on there. Also, it's called the Throne Room. So listen, you have so many options to check out all of the creative content and the feedback and the sports updates and news and opinions, and you can get them from different perspectives and different people. So that's what I really love about MTMV Sports. So if you don't know, now you know, make sure you check it out. If you're already here on YouTube, then you already know what to do. You hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell to get the post notifications, and make sure you are always tuned in to me, Pretty Girl Dance with Pretty Girls Love Sports. Follow me on all social media platforms at PG Love Sports. Now that I got that out the way and the announcements are out the way, it's time to get started. Are you guys ready? So hopefully my background is doing a little something, is doing a little zipping and do it and zip it. So I told y'all that this season is going to be a little bit different. You're going to see me. And sometimes the format may be a little bit different. Hopefully not. But if it is, it's no problem. You already know. You already know that's how I am. We're different. We do things differently. We figure it out. We move on our way. And we have fun. We have fun. The purpose of this show really is to have fun outside of talking about football, but it's to have fun. Period. Okay? Yeah. But I'm going to hop into some of my topics and my categories. So this season, I have new categories, things that I think will add to like the flair of the conversation. And I hope you all like them because I'm not going to say I worked hard on them because I probably didn't work that hard on them, but it is what it is. Okay, so we have, it's going to be called the Audible Alerts. So this is the first quarter basic announcements, basic updates, all of that within the NFL, and college football. I'm going to get into some women's football when that starts back up. I'm also going to get into flag. I want to get into XFL, USFL, Canadian football. So we have lots of football and things to talk about and to get into. And I'm going to get into it. Just not today. Okay, as you know, look, if you see my screen, just carry on, okay? NFL did start their week 1 and they had some pretty great games. Some games I did not expect for them to go the way that they went. But to give the scores, I'm just going to give the scores because I feel like maybe you want to know the scores, maybe you don't know the scores. We'll see how that goes. You know, whatever. I'm going through them very quickly, but we had Ravens and Chiefs 27-20 Chiefs. We had Packers Eagles 34-29 Eagles. Steelers Falcons 18-10 Steelers. Cardinals and Bills 34-28 Bills. We had Patriots Bengals 16-10 Patriots. Vikings Giants 28-6 Vikings. We had Titans Bears 24-17 Bears. Panthers Saints 47-10 Saints. Dolphins Jaguars 2017 Dolphins. Texans Colts 29-27 Texans. Chargers Raiders 22-10 Chargers. Seahawks Broncos 26-20 Seahawks. Cowboys Browns 33-17 Cowboys. Commanders Buccaneers 37-20 Bucks. Lions Rams 26-20 in OT. Lions. And then Monday Night Football wrapped it up for us, and we got 49ers Jets 32-19 49ers. Boom. So that's all the scores. Hopefully I did it fast enough for you guys. I'm going to talk about the games that kind of surprised me in my other segment. But the fact of the matter is Aaron Rodgers actually came out and played the entire game. You all already know, I'm not going to really go into that, but Tyreek Hill was detained, not arrested. He was detained outside of Hard Rock. Imagine that. You get to your job in your workplace and now you outside on the ground, face down on your work. It was crazy. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to too much talk about it, recap or show the video, but you've seen it by now. It's blown up all over the internet. But what I will say is I like the fact that Mike McDaniels came on and he was like, he feels really effed up for the purpose that he never knows. He does not know, and he probably will never know what that feels like. He's now had 2 players that have been detained and or arrested and treated pretty badly by the police. So he doesn't know what that feels like. So I think that having a coach actually come out and say that and understand and really voice the privilege that he knows that he has, to me, that was very stand up. That was very stand up of him. And then for Tyreek Hill to then make a comment after that, and he was like, well, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Like, then, like, what really would have happened? Because at one point, one of the officers had his knee in his back and things like that. So it was just really, and just think about how traumatizing and embarrassing that is and what that is going to do for him. So I do just had to say it and give those updates and everything with that. College football did kick off. So technically it's my week 3, but it's really college football week 2. And we've got to see some really, really great games, some really, really highly confusing upsets. And then we got to see some really uncompetitive football in a lot of ways. It was just like, they should have beat them anyway. And I hate to sound like that because I'm probably going to think that I'm a hater or something, but I'm not. I'm just saying, if you are supposed to beat a team, and you beat them, there's nothing to talk about. Really. Not to me, not in my opinion. It's when you are supposed to beat the team and you don't beat the team that we have something to really talk about there. Okay? So we're going to get into some of those colleges, and I have to write them down. We're going to get into some of those colleges that I feel either did something really good or really bad. Now, I'm not going to say really bad. I think that it was like, whoa. Tease, okay? And again, this is my opinion. So feel free to agree or disagree or whatever you choose to do, but this is what I'm saying. Now, Notre Dame losing to Northern Iowa. Like, first of all, it's a fact of the matter that they were paid about $1.5 million to come there to play, and then they beat y'all. You're in the top 25. What are you doing? What are you doing? But it kind of reminds me of last year when Georgia Tech lost to Bowling Green at home. And they came in and it was more like I know that we're going to beat y'all. We're better than y'all. They got a little, I like to call it a little cocky, right? Instead of playing like it's any team could beat us at any moment. Anything can happen. It was more like, they're not going to beat us. They came in attitude, but like, they're not like us. They're not like us. They're not like us. Okay? And they got beat and got embarrassed. Yeah. So I think that they need to look at that film, revamp it, put it together. I don't think they're going to, this might be me speaking too soon when I say I don't think they're going to have problems. I think that they just had a bad game, and I think they just didn't have the mindset and the focus that they needed to have to go in to actually win that game. So my hope and my goal, not my goal, my hope, my goal, not my goal, because I'm not playing. My hope is that they will get it together. Or forget it forever, child. You do not want to be like the nose. Y'all know how I feel about my nose, okay? Which is next on my list, okay? The nose needs to get it together. Dropping to 0-2 is crazy. They're not even on top 25 anymore. You're done. You cooked. Get out of here. but rightfully so, because they were playing like they were cooked. You know what I'm saying? Somebody made a really key point to me, and it was like, they took that quarterback from Clemson. They thought that he was going to eat. I gotta be with you when you right. I gotta be with you when you right. I gotta be with you when you right. DJ is not that great. And that's all I gotta say. That's all I'm gonna say. Over the weekend, well, not really the weekend, but after the game, after the Colorado game, there was a lot of backlash and things going on because Shador did leave the game with 2 minutes left. And then you seen head coach Dion go in his press conference and was talking about like why he left the game. And he stated that he left the game because at that point, the game was essentially over. They knew that they were going to lose, and they wanted to make sure that he get checked out and that he was going to be okay and that he was going to be good. Now, some people looked at that and was like, you should have stayed. You should have stayed. You were fine. You could walk off. You were fine. You should have stayed. Other people are like, well, we understand the game was over. He wasn't really getting protected, and he was getting cooked. So he needed to leave. They also were saying, like, you leaving, what does that look like for your team? What does that look like to your teammates? What does it look like to your fans that you leave the game and don't come back within the last 2 minutes? Now, I would say that some of this, I feel like it's an overreaction, because if you're already losing and you're probably not going to get the ball back. I mean, I didn't watch the end of the game because at some point I thought the game was over. So I just turned it off. But you guarantee I'm going to watch Uncle Dion every time he hits that screen. Every time he hits that screen. So I think it's a little bit of overreaction. I understand that you have to make sure that your quarterback is good to go 100% of the way, because I don't think that they have a good backup option. He is the option. He's the only one. So it's not like they have a whole, and maybe I'm speaking too soon on this, but I do not think that they have a notable second option that they want. I also feel like they fixed some of the issues, but not all of the issues. That O-line needs some biscuits. It needs some cabbage. They need something. They should be able to move cows and pick up trucks and everything. They should be able to protect him at all costs by any means necessary. So maybe the line needs more adjustment. I know they added some people to the line, but it's just not working out. If you need to leave to go get checked out to make sure you ain't concussed, then your line is not working. I said what I said. I seen a TikTok that was like, Uncle Dion need to go get some of them country boys to be on your O-line. You need the big guys to be on your O-line because they need to be able to protect the quarterback. And I'm actually inclined to agree. And in other Sanders news, Shiloh had to get surgery. I didn't see anybody talking about that because everybody talks about Shador. Nobody really talks about Shiloh, but I'm gonna talk about Shiloh. Shiloh had to get surgery on his, I'm gonna say wrist. I know it's wrist, hand, something like that. It's in a, he had to get a wrist surgery and he will be out. So we'll have more that comes with that. Moving on. The last thing I got for college football, to me, that was like a good, bad, and an ugly, is the Miami Hurricanes, sweetheart. The Miami Hurricanes are looking like the old Hurricanes that I grew up knowing. The football that I knew that they used to play is what they are playing now, and I am loving it. The U is showing back up, okay? The U is putting the U in show up. They are doing it. They are doing it. Now, I understand they did beat an HBCU team, and some people feel as though, well, they should have beat them. I'm not going to say that because FAMU is they can compete. They just did not compete with them. But Miami is also like really that good. You see what they put up from the University of Florida. So Miami is that team. You know how to be like, oh yeah, she's that girl. That's Miami. Okay. So Miami, they're on my teams to watch out list. And if they're not on yours, you're a hater. Y'all know I like to say that. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm gonna talk about my screen because I know it's going in out right about here. I'm talking about my screen. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I'm gonna move on to something that I'm just gonna get into. Okay, I'm going to get into fantasy versus reality. Okay, so in this segment and this category, it is going to be called fantasy versus reality. Okay, so that just means that what you think you're gonna get versus the reality of what you got was not the same. Was not the same. And that first person we're going to talk about is Aaron Rodgers. Now, fantasy wise, we expected him to come out to be, I guess, the old Aaron Rodgers, to be. I don't ever think that he was fast. So I'm not going to say fast and fresh. And I'm not going to say all that. He seemed poised. He did go down to the ground a few times, but he also made some, in my opinion, poor throws. Like, I didn't know what, either the pass was bad or the catchers couldn't catch. I'm blaming Aaron. I'm blaming Aaron. And y'all know I love Aaron, but I'm blaming him. I'm blaming him. He played very subpar to me. He didn't give me, I'm back. I'm ready to take this team to be as great as they can be, to be the best that they can be. I didn't get that. So I blame Aaron. I feel like everything that everybody thought that he was going to come out and do and come out and be that player, he was not that player. He is showing his age a little bit, and that's okay. That's okay. We know that Aaron is a little old. Okay? That's okay. He's very seasoned. I think that he's going to take maybe another game or two to really get into the groove of things because, again, he sat out for an entire season. It's not like he played all last season. It's not like he had everything. He needed time, and I feel like he's going to need time to really get back into the groove of things. And that's just that. That's that. That's just that. I'm gonna move on. To I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, but if you get it because they're in categories, so like, just bear with me. I will say the fantasy versus reality for our college football. I think that the University of Miami, they're living up to that fantasy point. And if you didn't have them in your fantasy, or you didn't, and I don't mean like in your fantasy football, I'm just saying in general, if you didn't have them on the radar, which they're now sitting at top, they're in the top 10. They are number 10. So if you didn't have them in their radar, then your reality is like, whoa, they're really, really good. Because I came into the season and they were not in my reality. They are now. They're my reality and my fantasy. Okay? Because they're really playing really, really well. They're really showing you exactly who they are. They're stepping up to the plate. They're making the plays. They're sticking to their identity of what they were as a football program. And I think that they haven't looked like that in a while. And I think it is great. I really like it. Fantasy versus reality. What we thought that Florida State was going to come out to be, they are now showing us in reality that they are not. They are showing us that they are going to have a trash season. They are showing us that they may not be able to turn this thing around because they've now went 2 games losing to 2 teams that they should have absolutely beat, and they did not, and they struggled really, really bad. So in reality, they're not up to par, and they are not the team to beat. They're not even a team to look out for. No more. Okay? They're gone. Fantasy versus reality. Another one is going to be my last one is Georgia Tech. In fantasy, you may have thought like, they're not going to be that good. It's Georgia Tech. But then they came in, beat Florida State, got themselves on the top 25, and then they come in and lose the following week. But the reality of that is literally that reality. They are good. They have great leadership. They have King and Haynes, and that's like they can do it. They got it. They're going to be fine. Their defense looks great. Their offense, like I said, their offense has gotten tremendously better over the season from last season, as well as their defense. They are one of the teams that are more complimentary, in my opinion, than a lot of other teams that I've seen play because they have great both sides of the ball. And Coach Key does a really good job of that and making sure, again, he understands that program. He understands that identity. He was a Tech player. So it just makes a lot of sense. And I feel like they are a team to watch because you never know which week they're going to just be explosive. They may be explosive for the rest of the season. And you may be thinking, they're not. But in reality, they really are. They're not a bad team at all. The ACC has some really good teams. They have some really competitive teams, as well as the SEC. As we know, the SEC runs it. So it's not really much to talk about for the SEC. But the ACC is like really right behind them. And that's just my opinion on that. So there's that. Okay, we are going to be moving on. We are going to be moving on to flag on the play. Flag on the play is going to be my one either highlight news topic discussion, something that comes up during the week that I feel like is a flag on the play. Hold up. And in this one, it is going to be flag on the play for Deshaun Watson. So you seen how he played against the Browns. He is on the Browns, child. You see how he played against the Cowboys, and it was bad. It was bad. Okay, he is now won 0 games in 13 games. It may be more than 13 games. I'm gonna check that. Y'all let me know in the comments right now. Y'all educate me in the comments because sometimes I be having the stats and then I know it and then I lose it. I could have lost that one. But I do know that he hasn't won in a plethora of games. But Uncle Joe last season came off that couch and took him to the playoffs. I'm just saying. But y'all didn't want to give Uncle Joe another contract. Mm-hmm. Y'all also have Winston right behind him. Y'all need to put him in. Go and play. But this flag on the play is not necessarily because of how he played. It's because literally I feel like right after the game, they just know when to drop the news. They just know when to drop the news. It came out that he now has another sexual assault case against him that happened back October of 2020. I did see a little bit more about it. It said that the woman that he was with, I guess they were on like a date or something. They went out. He was at her home. It's at her home. And then she said, they was having a good time, eating, relaxing, chilling, hanging out, And then she went into the room and he was there and he was demanding a butt massage. Allegedly, for legal reasons. So that's a flag on play because what's going on? What is going on? I feel like this man can never make it. He can never make it out the mud. He can't. He just at this point retire. Hang it up. The Browns pay him all that money just for him to play like that, and just for him to continue to still have legal issues and problems. Is like, yo. And another one. Like it's not given. It's not given. This is our leader. This is not given. This is the face of our franchise. It's just not given. It's not given. It's a flag on play. And the penalty is not given. No, but seriously, like I felt like this man can't catch a break. And I'm not saying I'm not picking nobody, so I'm not picking and choosing. So I don't know the details, but I do know that he's faced these legal problems before. We thought that it was behind him. He did the suspension. He, did everything he needed to do, or maybe he didn't do everything he needed to do. And then it's like you have a bad game, and it's like, darn, I'm still down from having a bad game, and you still kicked me when I tried to get up with another lawsuit. So it's like, Watson, are you okay? He played better when he was getting the massage. I'm not gonna get into that with y'all. I'm not gonna get in there with y'all. I'm not gonna get in there with y'all. Okay? No. I'm gonna move on. I got 2 more categories for y'all before I roll up out of it. Deuces like Chris Brown. Okay. So this next category is going to be called Blitzen Brilliance. Do you like it? Yeah. So this is going to be teams that I thought played amazing, shockingly. Like, this is going to be NFL teams. And I just thought that they did the thing. I'm also going to include players in it as well if I felt like players did spectacular things, obviously, because this is a pretty spectacular show. So if you do some pretty spectacular things, I'm going to put you on the show. You will be highlighted and talked about, okay? So my first one on this brilliance list is DJ Dallas and the Cardinals. So the Cardinals came out and played way better than I expected. I loved seeing Kyler Murray back out there. Y'all know I love me some Kyler. Love seeing Kyler Murray back out there. Love seeing him doing what he does best. And I think a lot of people did forget that he was one of the top quarterbacks when he was coming into the league. And then when he first got into the league for a few seasons, he was top dog. And I think that he's going back to playing like that top dog. And I love to see it because he is just like, he's so athletic to me. And I just love everything that he does with his playing style. And I feel like the Cardinals have suffered some really poor seasons as of late. And I think that they're trying to get back to at least being competitive, at least. Nobody's saying they're going to be superstars. They're going to be brilliant. They're going to be top of the league. Nobody's saying that. But they're looking like they're trying to get out of that funk of playing piss poor football. And I'm here for it because I'm here for Kyler. James Conner also looked really, really good. So that's a good thing. But DJ Dallas gets my brilliance award because he ran back the new kickoff return, ran it back for a touchdown. Amazing. I'm going to try to insert the clip somewhere in here, but if I don't, just go and find it on the internet. Just go on Beyonce's internet like you do everything else and find when he ran it back. Ran it back, I believe it was 90. I want to say 96, but it could be 92 yards, something in the 90s, 90 plus yards for the touchdown. And it was like, wow, we finally seen the system work. We finally seen it work. And it was with a team that I don't think anybody expected it to work for. So that's another reason I was brilliant. So I love a good kickoff. So I do. Like, it's so excited. Just like I love a good pick six. I love a good strip sack. TJ Watt. Like I just, things just get me so excited. Y'all can't tell how excited I am. Ooh wee. Okay. So DJ Dallas and the Cardinals, number one on my brilliancy list. The other one that put belt to behind, I'm not gonna curse, belt to behind, is the New Orleans Saints. Wasn't expecting it. I can't even hold y'all. Wasn't expecting it. I also love me some Derek Carr. So I'm in full support of this. My previous co-host, which you'll see him coming a little bit at a time, Dr. is a Saints fan. You all know this, okay? So I knew that his Sunday was made. My Sunday was made because I was like, whoa, this is a different Saints team. I don't know what they did over camp and OTAs. I don't know what they was doing, but they did well. And I was shocked. I was shocked, honey. It was brilliant. The execution was brilliant. The level of competition, like they raised the bar, in my opinion. And I just felt like this is the Saints that I feel like people have been wanting and waiting to see. They are finally getting it together. This is the Derek Carr that we know him to be, we know that he can be. Like, the team is very complimentary of each other, and I love that. I felt like the Falcons fans was trying to cut my words because I was trying to say complimentary with, leave me alone. Okay, but complimentary football, I love that they played a well-executed game. That's a game that I can sit and watch again. I don't really like watching recaps of football games. I'm just not that person, but I would watch that game again. I would most definitely watch that game again. And the third brilliant award on my list is the New England Patriots under first-year head coach Gerard Mayo. he also made history because he is the first coach since another coach. I want to say since I want to give y'all the stat because it's important. I'm not going to lie to y'all. So let me look it up real quick because I don't want to lie. Because I had it. I had it in here. I had the date and everything, and it just flew out. It just flew out real bad. There we go. Obviously, it was his first win. Oh my gosh. You know how you see things on the TV and you originally you write them down? Um, Child. Okay. All I know is Bill Belichick was there for all those years. So it's been that many years plus since a first year head coach came in and won the first game of the season. Couldn't find it. They ain't want me to find it. So I think that was amazing. Congrats to him. Again, first year, first game, coming out winning. And a lot of people did not have the expectation of him. A lot of people were not on his side. And I mean, in a way of like, they're going to be the same that they were last year, blah, blah, blah. He talked about it, they're great, blah, 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 blah. And he came out and just showed and proved that that is false, that he is leading a good team and that he can actually do it. But overall, outside of that, the Patriots looked really, really good. They looked really, really well. They did not look like the dynasty Patriots that we have seen for so long. And I think that's expected, though. I think that's one of those fantasy versus reality moments. They are not going to come in and be the Tom Brady dynasty team that they were, 10 years ago, 14 years ago. They just not are going to be that. They are now building a new dynasty. They're building a new team. They have a new, fresh, clean slate. And I think that they played really, really well. I didn't expect them to win this first game. And that's why they're sitting right here on my brilliancy list right now, because they played brilliantly. They looked really good. And I liked it. I like it. I love it for them. And I can't wait to see what they do for the rest of the season, because now I have high expectations of you. So there's that. Yeah. So, okay. Now, last category of the Pretty Spectacular Football Show for today, it is going to be called fourth quarter fumbles. This is where the team just dropped the ball, didn't do well, didn't show up and show out, confused me. I thought they were going to be better and they were not. So I have quite a bit on this list. I have 4 teams that I personally thought that were going to be better and they were not. And the first team on that list is the Atlanta Falcons. Had to take a moment of silence. But yeah, Kirk Cousins, Kirk O'Chains. Do we have an excuse for it? Do we have an excuse for it? There's none. I try to find and search for one. There's none. There's none. There's none. Now, granted, both defenses played really well because Atlanta did get a touchdown and Pittsburgh won all by field goals, which is crazy. But a win is a win. Get into it. But I expected the Falcons to look better, to be better, to do better, because all in the offseason, everybody was talking about how the Falcons won the draft, how the Falcons was going to be this, how the Falcons was going to be that, how the Falcons was going to turn things around. And granted, it is the first season of the game. Child. It is the first game of the season. So things could change. They could turn it around. Maybe it's just a fluke game. But I did expect them to come out week 1 looking way better than they looked. Defense looks good. Defense is going to be a highlight of this team. The offense just has to catch up now. Okay? You got to come out and catch up. You got all these key players and all this money that y'all spent. Y'all was talking all of that and came out and didn't do what y'all needed to do. Y'all didn't handle business. So next week, I'm going to look for y'all to handle business. But I think they play a hard team. Moving on. The Panthers. Okay, I didn't expect them to be great. I expected them to be good, and they weren't even that. Um, Second year quarterback Bryce Young. I did expect him to come out and just be a little bit more polished. I expected him to come out and be a little bit more accurate, more confident looking. To me, he didn't look super confident. He didn't look like he was the leader of the team. He didn't look like he was, putting out the energy and the vibes, out there to his team for them to believe in him. And I think that that's a key part. I think that confidence is very key because when I think of confidence, I think of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was in his post-game conference and he was like, I don't care about those stats. I just care about I just care about doing my job, getting a win. I don't care about nobody's stats. Okay? I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about me, myself, what I'm doing to be the best quarterback that I can be at all times for my team because we want to win. Okay? I'm here for the Bears. You feel what I'm saying? And he did have his nails polished. Just said the Bears on it. You see, the Panthers was that bad. I started talking about the Bears. Child, let me get back to it. But I'm saying that to say Caleb Williams is the confident leader that I expected Bryce Young to be. They have enough going on with both sides of the ball being piss poor. The defense did, and this is my thing. I understand. So I can't really rag on the defense too much because the offense could not stay on the field long enough for the defense to even recover, get things together, and get back out there to do what they really needed to do. So it really kind of all then still falls on the offense in a way because like you're on the field for a minute, you're on the field for 2 minutes. So your defense is playing majority of the game. And yes, defenses does win games, but you have to be realistic, people. Defense also needs time to get it back together before they can go back out there and do what they need to do on that field. So the offense just is struggling. And like I said, I really just expected Bryce to come out and to look 10 times better, to be more confident, to give me confidence that he is going to be that quarterback. He is going to be that franchise guy. He is going to be the guy that you call on, that you need to lead this team to victory. That's what I expected to see in week 1. I did not see that. I'm going to be looking for that in week 2. I'm going to have to really put my eyes on the game because I need to see what I need to see. And if I don't see that, I'm going to come back next week and I'm going to say the same thing over again. And that's on period. Coming in with another person and another team that I thought that was supposed to be way better than what they was is the Bengals. Joe, you didn't do it, Joe. You didn't do it. You didn't do it, Joe. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. I don't know what's wrong with the Bengals. And here I am talking. The Bengals listen, Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers, those 4, in my opinion, are some of the most top competitive teams in the league, especially in their division. So because I'm so equipped for that division, I know how good they actually can be. And this is not the Bengals that I don't think anybody was expecting. I think, again, another one of those fantasy versus reality things, like the expectation was for them to go out and to be really, really good. But in reality, they were really, really bad. I'm not mad about it, though. Thank you. Thank you for being bad. Thank you, Bengals, Browns, and Ravens, for losing. Thank you so much. Can we do it again next week? Yeah, the Ravens might win next week, so I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. They're probably gonna win. But the last team on my list that I thought that was going to be better is the Dolphins. Although the Dolphins did win, they started off slow. They just didn't look like the fast, explosive Dolphins team that we had known them to be. I just felt like the Jags was handing them that work. The Jags was working them real bad. Real bad. And I just had a higher expectations of the Dolphins. I'm really not going to drag that on. I'm really not going to drag it out. I just the first half of the game was not what I expected from the Dolphins. That it could also mean that the Jags are playing really, really well. They just fell off at some point. I don't know what happened there. They just fell off and did not recover. But I just felt like they should have never had an opportunity to even fall off, because the Dolphins should have dominated that entire every quarter. I expected the Dolphins to dominate each and every quarter, and they did not. So leaves me to be just a little confused about that. And that's another team that I got my eyes on coming in for this next week of football. So, yeah, I managed to get through the entire show, you guys. Okay. Put my notes to the side because now I'm done. I do want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in with me, for watching me. I am always open for comments and suggestions. Make sure they're nice and respectful, though, because if they're not, baby, I'm going to delete it. Okay? Again, thank you for watching, for tuning in. Thank you to the sponsor for MTMV Sports, which is the Old Style brand. It is not just a brand, it is a lifestyle, doing amazing things for supporting MTMV Sports. And I will see y'all next time. Make sure you're locked in here Tuesdays at 8. Is it 8:30 or 8 p.m.? I don't know on time on my show, y'all. 8 o'clock. Be here Tuesdays at 8 o'clock to get the show, to do what you need to do, to key in with me. Yeah. And like I said, make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing and following on all social media platforms at MTMV Sports, but also PG Love Sports. Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.